Welcome to a new edition of South Sound Business Report. Today's focus, unique manufacturers. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Jeff Rounce. Thanks for being with us today. And we do appreciate Rainier Connect, a locally owned telecommunications company who's sponsoring today's broadcast. Our subject will cover two different companies, both of them rather unique in manufacturing. The first one started as a machine shop supplying goods and products to the Boeing company some 40 plus years ago. Today, it is the premier provider of heated clothing to keep you warm when you're out of doors, whether it be working or playing. The next one is a new company, relatively new out in the Grays Harbor County area. Its ambition is to build building materials out of recycled raw materials. We'll meet NewWood and its CEO, John Bowser, in just a moment after this word.
Here in Tacoma, there's a unique telecommunications company that knows how to serve their local community.
We believe in doing business locally, giving back, and connecting local businesses. And with Rainier Connect being a local provider, we feel it's essential for us to do business with them.
Rainier Connect, one company working to grow your business or to simply help you connect.
Thank you for choosing Rainier Connect.
Today we're speaking with Fernando Belair of Gerbing's Heated Clothing Company. Thank you so much for having us.
You're very welcome.
The story of how this company began is fascinating. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that and take us through it?
Well, briefly, our founder, Gordon Gerbing, was a machinist, and he had a machine shop in Maple Valley, Washington, that was doing a lot of Boeing work and other work for military. And his employees would arrive, a lot of them rode motorcycles, and they would arrive at work frozen from having ridden to work, and being that frozen, they weren't very productive early in the morning. So he decided to help them, and he took what basically were snowmobile suits, and he took the heating pads out of electric blankets that were wired for 110 volts, which is where they plug in, and he rewired them for 12 volts and connected them to the electrical systems of their motorcycles. And these employees started showing up for work and were immediately productive, and he thought he'd solved his problem. Well, as these things go, somebody saw that and said, gee, can you make one of those for me? I mean, I don't work for you, but I ride. And another friend saw it, and another one saw it, another one saw it, and pretty soon the machine shop is downstairs and Gerbing's Heated Clothing is upstairs. And about 35 years ago, the decision was made to close the machine shop and focus on heated clothing because it was much more of a growing business. And that's how we started.
Well, tell me how you came to be in Tumwater then.
Well, the company moved from Maple Valley to Union. And in Union, we were in 3 tin sheds. We were in 1 tin shed first, and then, of course, we poured a concrete pad and grew and grew. But eventually, when we realized what was holding us back, that location and the difficulties in managing the processes among 3 actual buildings, told us we had to have one centralized point of operation, and that's why we moved here to Tumwater and put up this 30,000 square foot building.
And when was that?
That was 3 years ago. Last November we moved in.
Okay. And how many employees are here?
Here in Tumwater we have 31, and in our manufacturing plant in North Carolina, I believe we have in the low 40s. It grows almost every week.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the products. What are 1 or 2 of the classic products that first started and that continue to be popular?
Well, we started, obviously, because of the experience with our employees and riding their motorcycles to work. We started as a company that made heated clothing for motorcyclists, and that expanded into snowmobilers and ATV riders. And then that grew and grew until we started making outerwear, because our first products were innerwear. And then now the last product line that we've really seen a lot of growth in has been our Core Heat line, which is a product line of 7-volt battery-operated rechargeable clothing for the common man, for anybody who is cold, whether you want to go for a walk, go fishing, hiking, backpacking, and that's where our next phase of growth is coming from. We have the dominant position in the motorcycle or power sports industry. Now we're looking to grow into the outerwear industry. We have a few things that are interesting. We have a heated stadium seat cushion, which any soccer mom would love, and any sports fan. Those concrete and aluminum seats get awfully cold. We have heated duck blinds for hunters. We have a company that came to us and asked us to make a heated stump cover for anybody who has had an amputation, and that keeps their leg warmer and reduces or almost eliminates painful phantom pains at night so that they can sleep through the night. We make that for this other company and then they sell it. So we're kind of into so many things. We have a lot of military contracts. We've done the things for the Navy. We've done things for special ops. We have done probably done some things that I don't have clearance to know that we've done. But nevertheless, we have a very, very good working relationship with the U.S. military, and I believe we've done something for just about every branch of the military except the Coast Guard.
Okay. And you have a lot of services right out of this facility, too, including custom sewing, shipping.
We have 30,000 square feet here, and we do all of our shipping here. And if you have a customer who's, say, a non-traditional body type that might be short arms or large torso or very thin and tall and lanky, some of our standard sizes may not fit them. When it comes to our jacket liners and our pant liners, we will actually custom make for them out of our custom sewing department something that will fit. And we have templates that we have developed over the years for people of all sizes.
Okay. And because of all of the different products that you offer, what has been the impact on the Tumwater area as far as economically?
Well, we're here, and of course we're employing people from this area. But additionally, we have a small store. And we have a lot of dealers, but we also have a little tiny store up front. And we hold open house events and things like that. So there are a lot of retail transactions that take place here, and that, of course, helps provide additional tax revenue for the Tumwater area.
Okay. And let's talk about the international component. How many dealers do you have nationally and internationally, and where are you?
We have about 250 dealers overall, both our power sports dealers and our core heat dealers in the United States. We have distribution in Europe, we have distribution in Scandinavia, distribution in Korea, in Japan, in parts of what used to be the Soviet Union. Of course, we all know that it's all very cold over there. And I'm working on, but I can't say that I have an Australian distributor yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, and who are some of the companies that you work with, or just the types of companies?
Well, of course, our power sports products get distributed through motorcycle and snowmobile dealers. Our 7-volt core heat products go out through individual sporting goods stores. We also work with a number of the big box chain stores. We have worked with Costco and done, when you walk into Costco and you see there's a new vendor there showing their wares. We've done some of the Costco shows, as we call them, and they've been very, very successful, and Costco's been happy with us. We're also available through the Harrington catalog. We're available through Hammacher Schlemmer and a number of other avenues. Plus, you can also, if you don't have a dealer in your area, you can order directly from us.
Okay. Now, you are expanding east to North Carolina. Tell us about that facility and what's going on there.
Well, Jeff Gerbing, our CEO, had a vision that we needed to do something to help our fellow Americans. And it really was, and I don't want to sound too big of a cheerleader here, but it really was a patriotic vision. And we needed to bring jobs back to America. We, like many companies, had taken our manufacturing overseas, and he said, enough is enough. It's time we did something for our country. And so he went looking for a location that would provide us a good work base, low taxation, all the things that a business looks for. And in North Carolina, he found a cooperative state, and he basically found an area that had been at one time a textile center.
So the workers already have the experience.
The workers had the experience, and it was easy to draw upon them. They're very quick on the uptake, and we were up and producing within a year.
So how will that change this facility, and how many jobs will it eventually have there?
Well, the net is going to be a growth in number of jobs. We've had people who have relocated from here to North Carolina. This facility here will eventually downsize some, and will probably utilize a little bit less space than we're currently using. We may sublet some of the space in the back.
But the headquarters will stay.
But we are a Washington registered corporation. We will be keeping our corporate headquarters in Washington, and there will be staff here. We will have dealer services here. We will have customer service here. We will have sales management here. Some of the sales reps are here. We will have a sewing department, a wiring department, and we will have, shipping for small amounts.
Well, how many jobs in North Carolina will that be total when that's finished?
The goal in North Carolina is to build a company that employs 350 people. We're part of the way there. It will be both Gerbing's products as well as products that we can manufacture for other people. We are, for example, the provider of Harley-Davidson's proprietary line of heated clothing, and so we make that for them, and they, being an American company, are very excited about the possibility that those products, which we had been making for them overseas, can now be made in the United States, and that's going to help them an awful lot. And of course, the retail consumers have heard about our move to North Carolina, and the reaction has just been overwhelmingly positive.
And your timeline is 3 to 5 years?
It's going to be a 3 to 5 year process to bring all products to North Carolina. We're currently manufacturing our jacket liners, vests, and pant liners in North Carolina.
Okay, and my final question is, you, during the recession, have managed to double your business. How did you do that, and how do you plan to continue that and grow that in the next few years?
Well, first of all, there's a good team here, and we have a good leader. But it's basically been a matter of doing the right things. We were transitioning from 3 small tin sheds and a mom-and-pop operation to being a real corporation with processes and a vision that's been established by our CEO. And all of that together has literally taken us and put us more on the map. We have the dominant share again in the power sports industry. We're making great inroads in the 7-volt industry. And it was really both effort and timing. And the recession, while it has hurt us in that we might have gone up 3 times in growth instead of twice, right now we're happy with what we've got, and we're looking for more.
Well, Fernando, Belair, thank you so much for taking the time to share your thoughts with us, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you, Holly, and your guest, Fernando, Belair. Coming up next, we'll meet John Bowser III, the Chief Executive Officer of NewWood Manufacturing. But first, we want to thank a number of corporate sponsors for making the production of this program possible. Rainier Connect, Northwest Media Company, Elliott Bay Web Design, Done Right Handyman Services, FTEmagazine.com, and Mobility Hosting. We'll be right back.
Here in Tacoma, there's a unique telecommunications company that knows how to serve their local community.
We believe in doing business locally, giving back, and connecting local businesses. And with Rainier Connect being a local provider, we feel it's essential for us to do business with them.
Rainier Connect, one company working to grow your business or to simply help you connect.
Thank you for choosing Rainier Connect.
Any product in today's enlightened consumer world market that's 50% recycled plastic and 50% recycled wood waste would seem to be a step forward into the green world we're all approaching, and it would also seem to have good prospects for business success. That, in essence, is what comes to market from NewWood, a fledgling manufacturing company based at the Satsop Development Park in Grays Harbor County. This is John Bowser, CEO of the 2-year-old company, although your background in building materials and manufacturing goes back decades, doesn't it? What did you do?
Well, I've come up through the panel world in composites primarily. This background has given me the opportunity to see the value and benefits of the plant and NewWood as a product. We're very anxious to have it rolled out. We think it is revolutionary. We think it brings a lot of attributes and benefits to the market that hadn't existed in the past.
So let's talk about what is the snapshot of NewWood.
Well, it's an interesting concept, actually. We acquired a plant that was built but never commercialized. It was designed somewhat under wraps. not to expose the technology or the raw materials, but in reality, we take 100% recycled materials, both plastic and wood, combine it into a sheet product. And with that, you end up with a material that has all the attributes of plastic. It's cost affordable, more like a wood product. It handles like wood, and yet it is an extraordinary product, waterproof, bug-proof, termite-proof, etc.
Now, you said panels, so we're talking about flat sheets typically.
Primarily 4x8 sheets. We have some ability to vary that size, but for now, it's a 4x8 sheet.
And how would that product be used?
Oh, goodness gracious. It can be used for most anything you'd use a sheet of plywood for. Boxes, bins, pallets, crates, marine industry, architectural applications, wall sheathing, ornamental, decorative product, point of purchase displays for the store fixture people, concrete forming, and the marine industry also.
And it has advantages, I understand, over pure wood in terms of resisting decay or rot or water
Absolutely, damage? Absolutely. The features of our product are more like that of plastic, where plastic has zero moisture intrusion. We are close to zero also. Some would call us waterproof. Regarding insects and insect destruction, such as termites. Termites don't like plastic,
Okay.
so they won't touch our product.
And so building materials, I can see sheets of plywood and composite woods there. You mentioned containers, I would guess in the food industry, collection and distribution?
Oh, absolutely. Food service. With our product being plastic, and with us taking this waste stream plastic, but consolidating it with the wood under high temperature and high heat, we sanitize that plastic. And then with our proprietary technologies, we put an FDA-approved surface layer over it also. So at the end of the day, you end up with a board that is FDA and USDA approved for food handling. So that opens up applications such as pallet decks for food transportation, or bins and boxes for transporting fruits,
fresh produce and so on?
Produce, etc., from the grower. And because of its water resistance, then the sanitation and cleaning aspects of the product is easy to achieve.
So I mentioned before it's a fairly young company, 2 years plus or minus. How much production has NewWood accomplished? And then let's talk about the testing of it, because any new product has to withstand the marketplace.
Sure. The plant was built between 2002 and 2004, but it was never commissioned, so it sat idle. We completed our acquisition in October of 2010. The recommissioning took 9 months, so we started producing materials this past October. That material has now started to find its way out in the marketplace from right here locally in Washington, local retail stores, all the way down into Australia, where material is down in Australia being tested for certain applications down there. The attributes lend itself to all climates around the world. Australian market in particular, where they're mandated to have insect-resistant materials that can be in ground contact. Well, NewWood, even though we're a new company, the technology was developed many years ago. There were sample materials produced during the early days of this plant construction. Those have sat outside in ground contact for 7 years. We can prove to the Australian government very easily that our material meets their expectations for moisture intrusion and ground contact.
In construction, strength is an issue. Can you meet that test?
Yeah, strength is measured in a lot of ways. Okay, NewWood has gone through a multitude of tests, all conforming to ASTM standards, and that is the standards. It's American Standards Testing Institute. So that's what it's all about, and so we've tested all those criteria. Now, some will say, well, how do you compare to plywood or OSB? Well, they have certain attributes. We have certain attributes. We're more flexible than them, but we're stronger. So
it'll give, but it won't break.
You're right. We can be bent. Believe it or not, you can take a 4x8 sheet of NewWood, and if you're strong enough, you could bend it into an 11.5-inch radius.
Wow.
Now, we can't do that. We're not
You don't
strong
have-
enough. But that's how far that will bend. And even when it does start to fracture, it doesn't come apart because the plastic will not allow that.
Is it suspect or subject to heat? Is there a problem that, I mean, I'm assuming that you're taking the wood waste, the plastic waste, and under heat and pressure, bonding them together. Does that make them susceptible to damage from high temperatures?
Great question. We used Washington State University for a lot of our testing, and the Washington State University Wood Composites Lab has been in existence for several decades. And globally, they're recognized as one of the world leaders in wood composites. So with the help of the university and Mr. Robert Tishy, one of the university professors, we did a study on just that attribute. You know, expansion and contraction of the product, heat and cold, wet and dry. Because, you know, everybody knows that wood will expand when it gets wet,
Right.
and it'll contract when it gets cold.
Right.
And people naturally think that plastic will expand when it's hot and contract when it's cold. Combining the two materials with the NewWood technology created a uniquely different animal, okay? It doesn't respond to moisture or humidity because the wood cannot expand because it can't absorb moisture. It's held captive by the plastic.
Okay.
Inversely, because of the wood, the plastic can't expand. The wood doesn't expand by heat, and there's enough wood in the product so that the plastic can't expand. So at the end of the day, over 8 feet, the expansion of our board is less than a 64th of an inch.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Well, you've talked about the product, you've talked about possible uses. Where would the market be? You said we might see it in our stores around here, home improvement stores or other uses. Is this really have a global application?
Absolutely. I'll go back to the Australian market for a moment. Again, there's a building code that's calling out for ground contact with no animal or termite type inclusion. When you have those type of attributes in a panel, then you can be used in building applications where, in their instance, what's called a SIPS panel or a structurally insulated panel. You get the benefits of the strength of NewWood, you get the waterproofness, you get the termite proofness, but you also get the fact that you have a material that no longer needs a secondary application of some type of a building wrap. NewWood is already waterproof, unlike plywood, so you don't have to worry about moisture and contact.
Wow. And the areas of the world that are growing rapidly, Asia, China particularly, it would seem that this could have application there also.
Absolutely. China is really one of our largest focuses right now. We have brokers in the market, in the Chinese market today, working with Chinese distribution partners. We're not only working with them to distribute NewWood product from the U.S. into China, but also to license our technology into China and also have joint venture manufacturing in China.
I mentioned that you're in Satsop at the former never was commissioned nuclear site. Is there any way that you're using that facility, or is it just real estate you happen to be located in?
I think NewWood actually is a testament to the ultimate in recycling, because you've led me on very well there. And the fact of the matter is, we are located at a former and never fueled nuclear power plant facility. And we were located there for several reasons. One, to utilize existing buildings that were put in place. But even more so, we utilize one of the nuclear cooling towers. Now, this is where we have a 500-foot tall structure with 3 million gallons of water setting into base. And we utilize that cool water from that tower to cool our press in the manufacture of NewWood. So it's really the ultimate in recycling, I believe.
That's awesome. And tell me the size of your company today and what you hope it will be in the future, because employment is a significant need in our community.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Grays Harbor County is at 13.5% unemployment. We have big visions of helping that community with NewWood. We currently have less than 40 employees. We expected more at this time. Startup has been slower. Market acceptance has been slower. But ultimately, this plant will employ 150 employees, direct employees at that plant. That's not counting, you know, facilities outside of Elma.
Amazing story. We look forward to seeing it blossom and really become a success. Thank you, John Bowser, for sharing with us the story of NewWood.
Great. Thank you very much.
Our thanks also to Rainier Connect for its sponsorship of this program, and we invite you to join us again next week, right here at the same time, same channel, for another edition of South Sound Business Report.
Here in Tacoma, there's a unique telecommunications company that knows how to serve their local community.
We believe in doing business locally, giving back and connecting local businesses. And with Rainier Connect being a local provider, we feel it's essential for us to do business with them.
Rainier Connect, one company working to grow your business or to simply help you connect.
Thank you for choosing Rainier Connect.